Me and my partner Kayliegh have been together for over 15 years, and for most of that time we've had the exact same argument every single weekend. Charlie's finally fallen asleep, we sit down on the sofa, we have 5 minutes to relax, and then we spend the next 45 minutes trying to decide what to watch on TV. We scroll through every single film we can find on Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, Netflix, and every single time one of us suggests something, the other person just says, nah, not really feeling it. And then we just sit there in complete silence for another 10 minutes.
And then there's that big awkward silence,
So I did what any completely normal person would do. I used AI to fix the problem. I built a dedicated Claude project that helps us decide what to watch every single weekend.
That's normal.
And I know exactly what you're thinking. That's a completely normal thing to do, but it worked. And that's exactly what this video is about. Because if you're watching this thinking Claude is just an AI tool for work stuff, for writing emails, for planning content, that kind of thing, it can do so much more than that. I want to show you what it actually looks like when Claude becomes part of your everyday life, you know, in case you're also struggling to find a film to watch. Before we get into it, if you're also an ADHD creator who's trying to build a YouTube channel without constantly feeling like your brain is working against you, I've put together a completely free AI toolkit for you. It's got ADHD friendly prompts that help you with everything from coming up with video ideas to scripting and filming your videos, all without burning out. It's completely free, links down below. All right, so the thing I mentioned earlier, the weekly TV argument, that's turned into a real Claude project that I set up specifically for that situation. I call it the cinema circle.
It's beautiful.
And the way it works is pretty simple. I've told it everything it needs to know. Kayligh's favorite genres, my favorite genres, the stuff we both like, and most importantly, the stuff we almost never agree on. You know, like when I told Kayliegh that Dune Part 2 would be an incredible film to watch, and then she made me wait 2 years to finally watch it on Blu-ray, and then I fell asleep because I was so exhausted by that point. So Kayligh's more into comedy and romance, I'm more into action films and anything anime related, and we've both got fairly strong opinions about what films we prefer to watch. So now when we sit down on Friday night, instead of just scrolling endlessly for an hour, I just open up Claude on my phone, I open up the Cinema Circle project, and I tell it what mood we're in, whether we want a film or a TV show, how long we have until I realistically fall asleep on the sofa, and it gives us the three best options that we can just pick and choose from. We just pick one, we get our movie snacks, sit back and relax. And yes, Kayliegh thought I was completely mad when I first told her what I had built. She gave me that look that says, I am genuinely worried about you. And she should be. She should always be worried about me. But even though it might be a little bit overkill for what seems like a small problem, is what I love to do, right? Finding AI-powered solutions to everyday problems and doing what I can to make people's lives just that little bit easier. Anyway, Cinema Circle, one of the more fun Claude projects I've set up recently, but the next one is probably the most useful. So one of the things I've struggled with for most of my adult life is holding on to my own thoughts and experiences. I'll have a really significant moment, something at work, something with my son Charlie, something I might notice about myself, and within about 48 hours, it's just gone. My brain just doesn't remember things the way it should. And if you have ADHD, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not because you're not paying attention to things, it's just that the information doesn't stick up here the same way it does for other people. So I built another Claude project called my personal progress partner, and every evening as part of my wind down routine before I sleep, I spend about 10 minutes just using it to journal. I open up the Claude app on my phone and I just tell it about my day, how I felt, what went well, what didn't, what's on my mind, and it responds in a way that is genuinely very helpful and it helps me process everything. But here's the part that really changed things for me, right? It helps me notice patterns across weeks and months of journal entries, so I can actually see, okay, this is what drains my energy, this is what I'm avoiding, this is the thing that keeps popping up and I need to deal with. And on top of all of that, it also doubles up as my content library, because everything in my YouTube videos, in these videos that you're watching right now, the ideas, the real life examples, the honest moments, they all come from my actual everyday life. And now instead of just trying to remember everything, it's all just there, stored, searchable, and ready to use as and when I need it. And if you thought that was helpful, wait until you see the next project that I built. So I've I've been lifting weights for about 15 years. That's not a weird brag, by the way. Just stay with me here.
I've been working out.
I wake up at 5 every single day, Monday to Friday, and I go to the gym 3 times a week, and I really enjoy it. It's basically the foundation of my entire morning routine. But running had completely fallen out of my weekly routine. Not because I didn't want to do it, but because I could just never figure out how to balance it with my gym sessions. Also because I didn't want to do it. So my early mornings are gym sessions. The evening time is family time. I've got a very energetic 3-year-old son, a full-time job, a YouTube channel, and I need to make sure I still have time to spend with family and friends. But there's not a lot of flexibility in that schedule, right? And I've got some pretty ambitious fitness goals, I'm not gonna lie. I want to do my first high rocks this year, and I'm also thinking about running a marathon after that for some crazy reason. So, you know, pretty average goals. And guess what? Yeah, I made another Claude project to help me with that. This one's called My Health Hero, and I gave it everything it needs. My current gym routine, my schedule, my goals, my height, my weight, my past 15 years of experience exercising, you know, just the standard stuff. And it helped me build the perfect hybrid routine for me. So I've got gym sessions Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I do a short zone 2 run on Tuesdays and Saturdays. I do shadow boxings on Thursdays to give my legs a bit more rest, and I do something more fun like taekwondo practice on the weekends. So it starts easy, it builds up progressively, and it accounts for any recovery time between my gym sessions. And most importantly, it's designed around my actual everyday life, not just some imaginary ideal one. And for someone with ADHD, where the reason we abandon most plans is because they were never built for us in the first place, that genuinely makes such a big difference. And this next one, I think a lot of you will relate to, especially any parents out there. So this one is the one I use almost every single week. So me, Charlie, and Kayliegh, we love our days out, right? We go to castles, fun fairs, theme parks. We went to Disneyland recently. That was amazing. But planning a day out with a 3-year-old and ADHD is just genuinely quite exhausting. That's where my adventure architect comes in. It knows we've got Merlin and National Trust passes. It knows the areas we like and the places we've already visited. It knows Charlie is 3 years old and that we don't want anything too far, and that we just want the best possible day out for our family on the weekends. I just open it up, I tell it what kind of day we're in the mood for, and it gives us the best options with everything we need to know. It's taken something that used to cause a lot of decision fatigue and turned it into a 5-minute conversation. And on a weekend morning when Charlie's already asking to go out before 9 in the morning, yes, I'm being serious, that 5 minutes saves us a lot of stress. And this last one is probably the one that I use the most out of all of my Claude projects. I've made videos on this channel about my Claude content system, the one I used to plan, script, and film every video. And a few weeks ago, after watching just way too many videos on Claude Cowork, I got that very familiar feeling, the one where your current system suddenly just doesn't feel good enough anymore, where you convince yourself you need to rebuild everything from scratch before you can make your next video. It's not that your current system doesn't work, it's just your brain looking for a reason to do the interesting new thing instead of the necessary thing. And that afternoon, instead of sitting here rebuilding my entire content system, I did something I've been trying to train myself to do more of. I asked Claude if I actually needed to.
Tell me!
I literally just typed out, is my current content creation system good enough as it is, or do I genuinely need to upgrade it to Cowork and do this properly? And it told me I'm already at about 80% of what Cowork could potentially do for me. My current setup is working fine. Stop getting distracted, just make the videos. My own AI tool talked me out of that shiny object spiral. That is genuinely probably the most useful thing Claude has done for me this month. So 5 different projects for 5 completely different things. And I sat here at this desk one afternoon and I realized the same thing running through all of them. None of these projects are about making me more productive. They're actually all about making life feel less overwhelming.
Step 1. Breathe.
So I know that was a lot of information, but here's the 3 things I want you to actually take away from watching this video. The first one is to stop gatekeeping Claude to just one area of your life. If you're only using it for work stuff or content stuff or just one specific task, you're using maybe 20% of what it can actually do for you. The ADHD wins happen in everyday life just as much as they do sitting at your desk and doing work. The second thing, give it real context, not just I need a running plan, but your actual schedule, your constraints, your goals, and the real reasons why you keep failing to stick to the generic version of something. When you give Claude the context, it builds something that fits around your actual everyday life. And the third thing, which is probably the most important one, is this: Claude isn't here to think for you. It's here to make it easier for you to think for yourself. Every single project I've just walked you through, Claude didn't make the decision. It just made the decision feel more manageable. And for someone with ADHD that gets completely overwhelmed by choices, that's actually everything. There's a lot of content out there about AI and productivity, about automation, optimizing your workflows, and I make that content. I believe in it. But here's what I actually want you to take away from this video. If you have ADHD, the thing that slows you down most of the time isn't a lack of tools, it's not a lack of information, it's the friction. The friction between knowing what to do and actually being able to start, and having something in your corner that's calm, consistent, that doesn't get frustrated when you explain the same situation over and over again. That's not just a productivity tool. For a lot of people with ADHD, that's something genuinely new. So don't worry about building the perfect system. Don't wait until you've got 8 different projects and everything figured out. Just open it up, tell it what's going on, and just take the next small step. That's honestly all it takes. And if you want some help setting something like this up for yourself, I've actually just opened up spots for my first ever coaching program. It's called the ADHD Action Accelerator. It's a 4-week coaching sprint where I help you build your own AI-powered content system to post videos every week more consistently on YouTube. Links down below if you're interested, but no pressure. And if you want to see the actual content system I use to run this channel, then check out this video next.